DeVille, what are you cooking up today? You you gotta tell me before you barbecue somebody. All right? Ya tu sabes community, you know what we're about to do. How's it going, Ya Tu Sabes community and YouTube? It's your boy J Tom Reactions, and I'm here. I am here with another motherfucking reaction. I'm not gonna hold you up any longer. The veil's about to cook. If you guys want to be a part of the Ya Tu Sabes community, all you gotta do is do what is said in the beginning of the video. Subscribe to your boy. Also, like the video and comment what you guys think of the video so I can get on the algorithm so more people like yourselves can find me. And also hit that noti bell wherever the fuck it is. All right? Now, DeVille, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's see what the fuck you're cooking with today. Clues emerge of Drake's suspicious activities at the Hills. Let's go.
Talking about Hidden Hills, we had talked about Hidden Hills last time because of DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad did an interview with Academics where he had talked about Drake and this Yolo Estate.
Also, go subscribe to the Ville.
This Yolo Estate was in the Hidden Hills where Drake used to live at when he stayed in California. Now, this is close to Calabasas. This is when he had a conversation with Academics, and he had told Academics that he wouldn't be surprised if Drake covered up some type of suspicious activity that happened there because of all the parties that he threw there. Now, it turns out last night we had found some things out that's related to Hidden Hills. But just for a quick refresher, I'm going to play the clip right now of where DJ Vlad has said that there was some suspicious activity.
I will say, though, you know what I was impressed by? With all this shit and say not like us and everything, people talking about Drake, not one chick even erroneously filed a lawsuit or like, I thought there was going to be a few of those to take advantage of the moment. And there's been not one person that's accused Drake of anything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if some shit starts coming out. Well, from what I understand, when Drake first moved to like Hidden Hills, like they were wilding out in that house. And him and his homies were doing some shit that probably got covered up somehow. You know what I'm saying? And now maybe
Drake. Drake. This is why you don't mess with the machine. You don't fuck with the hand that feeds you. They've been covering your shit for years and now you're just fucking with the machine. To be honest with you, I don't give a fuck, Drake. I don't. But this shit is getting out of hand. All of your shit is being aired out now.
people got paid. And
I remember this partying. Not like.
I heard some stories, you know, but and I'm not going to mention them.
It was getting it in type shit.
I mean, some things could happen.
Maybe he's paying them off. Like, yo,
I think Drake is just paying them off, and so I mean, listen, I mean.
So that got everybody's attention. That got everybody.
He's paying them off?
His ears ringing. They wanted to know, what did Vlad mean by that? Why is he saying that something happened at Hidden Hills? Or why is he saying that something could have happened at Hidden Hills to where Drake had to pay to cover it up? A very strange thing for Vlad to say out of nowhere. And it had people thinking, well, what happened? Now, like I said in the last video, when I had talked about this property was owned by somebody that has the LLC, Richard Fitzgerald. Now, the Richard Fitzgerald LLC is owned by Drake. We know that because of Ebony Prince, because Ebony Prince had revealed that Drake's alias at the Mark Hotel was Richard Fitzgerald. Now, remember, Ebony Prince was the person that obtained the items from Meet the Grams from Drake at this hotel.
Drake. You got caught, bro. You're done. What else? You're donezo. All your shit is being aired out. UMG, whoever's pulling the trigger on airing your laundry out. All your laundry is going to be aired out now. All of the shit you've done for the 15 years, past 15 years is being aired out. What are you going to do now, Drake?
And was able to expose his name as being Richard Fitzenwell, aka Dick Fitzenwell. Because of that, we were able to find out that he had the Richard Fitzenwell LLC, and this is what he later on used to purchase the property over there in Calabasas, over there at Hidden Hills. Now, he later on eventually had sold it to Matthew Stafford for whatever reason. Matthew Stafford ended up trying to sell the property shortly after, not because he's leaving California. He's apparently still staying in California, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't want anything to do with this property. He's selling it for only 12 million. He had bought it for 11. So it just shows you that he really wants to get out of this property. It makes you feel like what DJ Vlad was saying, is that the reason why Matthew Stafford doesn't want to own this property? Because of the recent owner, Richard Fitzenwell, aka Drake. And now we have Vlad out here saying that there was something going on over here at the Hidden Hills. There's something going on, and Matthew Stafford didn't want anything to do with it. So eventually he tried to sell the property later on. Now, what we found out
Sorry. Did The Weeknd try to tell us? The hills have eyes. The hills have eyes. He tried to tell us.
eventually, because we started looking into Hidden Hills, we started trying to figure out, well, what exactly is going on over here? And one of the biggest clues that we had came across last night about Hidden Hills was Splash Brothers. Splash Brothers was an original song that had featured Drake and French Montana. Later on, the song had came out, but it didn't have Drake anymore. It only had Lil Wayne. So Splash Brothers, the original song, the first verse has Drake in it. And Drake talks about the Hidden Hills. Drake says, yeah, on Double MG, I'll F a rapper's wife. She ain't even my type, but I'll make the sacrifice.
He's caught. What more do you need? He's telling you right here what he does.
Never splitting thighs like she work at Gladys Knights. Yeah, I was never nothing nice. Guys know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. And this is the part that we were talking about. Guys know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. Bought the whole street up and I got it for a steal, which is funny for him to say because we know for sure.
Motherfuckers be telling on themselves.
When he had bought the property, this is when he had sold the property to Matthew Stafford for 11 million. This is the buyer, this is the seller. But right here, Richard Fitzenwell, which is Drake, he's the buyer, and he bought it for almost 3 million from a golfer, Diego Aleo. So he actually did get it for a steal because then they ended up selling it for 11 million when he just bought it for 3 M's. This is proof that Drake not only had sold the compound for Matthew Stafford for 11 million, but in the song with French Montana, he admits that he bought the whole street up for a steal. I guess he did when he gets it for 3 million and sells it for 11. So we know that he's talking about Hidden Hills because of this, and we know he's talking about the Yellow Estate because of this. Guys know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. So what are the secrets exactly? I guess Drake didn't even want people to answer that question because this song got scrapped. Now, for sure, this song is out, but it only has Lil Wayne on it. Drake had stopped.
Man, y'all need to shout out fucking DeVille, man. This motherfucker does his fucking research. Y'all need to subscribe to The Hill. I mean, not to The Hills, DeVille. Don't go to the Hidden Hills. Subscribe to DeVille. The man is doing his research. What more do y'all need, man? What more do y'all need? Everything is right here, right in front of you. The man is telling on himself in his own song.
Stop this song from being out so severely that he had to send a cease and desist. And this is why him and Rick Ross started beefing. This is the reason why Drake and Rick Ross started beefing really bad online, was because he had sent French Montana a cease and desist for this record. Rick Ross had talked about this song later on. Eventually, he had came out and had made this song where he had dissed Drake. And this was Champagne Moments. This was a song that had came out right before the beef had kicked off with Kendrick Lamar. But it's what Rick Ross says at the end right here is what catched a lot of people's attention. Right here, Rick Ross says, I unfollowed you because you sent a mother effing cease and desist to French Montana. You sent the police, hated on my dog's project. That wasn't the same person that I seen when we were making them early records. Now Rick Ross is saying that he has sent the cease and desist to French Montana because of this record. We could confirm that because eventually it had been reported on the news. It says Drake did send French Montana a cease and desist. It says here that he eventually had sent it. And then this is when they had talked about Rick Ross, talking about how he didn't like that he did that to French Montana. But it doesn't end there, because when we watch the music video for this song, there's a part that Rick Ross says in the song that caught my attention with the music video. He says, told y'all guys to stay scheming. I predicted my fate. Got more money than you. If you want me to say 50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay. And I think it's important when he says this, 50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay, because in the music video, when he says that, this pops up right here.
50 mil for the crib, where you want me to stay.
So he says 50 million for the crib, where you
Dog, what the fuck?
want me to stay, implying that he's talking about a house. What are you talking about, a house on the Hidden Hills? Because then Rick Ross has shared the shirt, the back of his shirt says Hidden Hills. So now I'm thinking, well, wow, does Rick Ross know what's going on with Hidden Hills? Does Rick Ross know what's going on with what DJ Vlad had talked about? And is he exposing it because Drake had sent a cease and desist to him in French Montana? I unfollowed you because you sent a mother effing cease and desist to French Montana. You sent the police and hated on my dog's project. That wasn't the same guy that I seen when we were making early records together. Now, Rick Ross is upset because Drake had sent that cease and desist. But I'm thinking that Drake had sent that cease and desist because of the fact that he didn't want anybody to hear him talk about the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. And out of spite, Rick Ross makes a diss record called Champagne Moments. And when he talks about a crib, he shows the back of his shirt in the music video that says Hidden Hills. The same thing that DJ Vlad had talked about when he said that Drake could have paid to come.
They want to see you gone, Drake. They want to see you gone. The rabbit hole is deeper, I promise. Who said that? Now, all of the people that hated on Kendrick, every single person that hated on Kendrick saying that he was lying, and all of the shit that is coming out about Drake, y'all owe a motherfucking apology to your boy Kendrick. But I know that that's not going to happen. I know that that's not going to happen. And it's okay. Because nobody owes anybody an apology. Nobody owes anybody anything. Kendrick knows he's right. Maybe the whole daughter thing. Maybe he does have a daughter. Maybe Drake does have a daughter. Maybe he has multiple children that he's hiding. But that's none of our, to be honest with you, that's none of our business. And I thought that that was a very mute point. Maybe he does have a daughter. I wouldn't say it was a mute point because there is something to say about parents that don't, go see their children. I think that, as a parent, you shouldn't be a deadbeat and you should go see them. Right? You decided to go and have all the fun that you wanted to have. You should own up, get the responsibility, and go take care of your kids, right? But to be honest with you, I think that Kendrick was right. I don't think he lied about anything on that shit. Especially after all this shit is coming out about Drake. There's so many things are pointing to it. You got people like the Ville coming. Hey man, shout out to you, Ville. For real.
Cover up some suspicious activity that happened at that party compound.
There's been not one person that's
coming out. From what I understand, when Drake first moved to like Hidden Hills, like they were wilding out in that house. And him and his homies were doing some shit that probably got covered up somehow. You know what I'm saying? And now maybe people got paid. And
maybe it's partying. No, not like.
I heard some stories, and I'm not going to mention
I
them.
heard it was getting it in type shit.
I mean, some things could happen.
Maybe he's paying them off. Like,
I think Drake is just paying them off. And so, I mean, listen.
Which makes me feel like I talked about in the last video, why Matthew Stafford decided to get rid of the property. I feel like Matthew Stafford had found out that this was Drake's party compound. There was a lot of stuff that went down there when he used to live there. And it just made me feel like Matthew Stafford just tried to get rid of the property altogether because he didn't want nothing to do with it. Why else would he sell the property for only an extra $1.5 million off the top? He bought it for 11 and he's trying to get rid of it for 12. Doesn't seem very profitable if you ask me. But moving forward, I really do think that Rick Ross was trying to send a message to Drake when he had made this music video. I think that he knows what's going on in Hidden Hills, because why else would he wear this shirt during a diss track music video that he's sending out to Drake? This whole song is a diss record for Drake that he decided to make a music video for. I don't think that it's just a coincidence that he's wearing Hidden Hills. And in the same time as he's rapping the lyrics talking about a crib, he shows the shirt that says Hidden Hills where Drake used to own a crib at. Just feels like he's doing this on purpose to slight Drake. We have DJ Vlad, who's talked about Hidden Hills. We have Drake, who's talked about Hidden Hills in a scrapped verse. And then we have Kendrick Lamar, who seemingly is hinting towards 4 p.m. in Calabasas with 616 in LA. So we went back to 4 p.m. in Calabasas because this is basically Drake in Calabasas over there at the Hidden Hills. This is a song that he had created while he was staying there, or at least he was still living there at the time and owned the property, because this is back in June 2016. So we went back to 616 in LA and 4 p.m. in Calabasas, because 616 in LA is supposed to be imitation of 4 p.m. in Calabasas, 5 a.m. in Toronto. It's supposed to imitate Drake when he took the time and location of places and named it after a title of a song. But what was funny, and real quick side note here, when we were doing this, 616 in LA was the name of the song, but 4 p.m. in Calabasas was actually released and created on June 2016, which is 616 in LA. Drake had released the song on 616, and he was in California, or at least owned the property in California at Hidden.
Drake, you need to cover your bases better. Now, I am not a Drake apologist. I am not a Kendrick Lamar apologist. I am only a fan. I am not a stan. You need to stop doing this type of shit, bro. Grow the fuck up, man. Grow the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. Dude, you're 3 years older than me. 4. You're still doing shit like that, bro? Come on. Grow the fuck up.
Hills at the time of this release. Even going as far as sharing the same messages on here. He says something like this. He says, I guess it's different in the city I come from. All of a sudden, I got people showing how much they truly resent me. The whole demeanor just spells envy. They trying to tempt me. Now, this is Drake talking about how people on his team are resenting him and they envy him and all of this, right? So going back to 616 in LA, like I said, it shares the same sentiments. same similarities when Kendrick talks about how his entourage is only there to hustle you. 100 people you got on salary and 20 of them want you as a casualty. Now, I think that going back to this is showing us that Kendrick knows what's going on at Hidden Hills. Kendrick knows exactly what's going on. And the same similarities in the lyrics are showing you that, you know, going back to 616 in LA, the time matches the date of the song's release. Not only that, but it also has the similarities of when Drake is talking about people in his team resenting him. It also goes back to when Kendrick was saying that people want to see you as a casualty that you had on salary. The same similarities. Not only that, but Kendrick says, what would Mike do? And at the end, or at least not to the end or close to the end, Drake says something about Mike. He says, when they told me to take an R&B guy on the road and I told them no and drew for Kendrick and Rocky, I tried to make the right choices with the world watching. Mike never tried to rap like Pac, and Pac never tried to sing like Mike, which makes me think, is this the reason why Kendrick had brought this up at the end of the song when he said what Mike would do? It makes me feel like 616 in LA was also a reference to this right here. It looks like 616.
You are cooking, bro. You are cooking. Cooking emoji, bro. The dude going like this with the fucking thing, that's you right now. You're cooking, dude.
In LA could have been a reference to 4 p.m. in Calabasas. And if that's the case, was Kendrick hinting towards the Hidden Hills? Was he hinting to Drake that he knows what's going on in the Hidden Hills? Because why would Kendrick make a song called 616 in LA, sharing the same similarities in the lyrics of 4 p.m. in Calabasas? Not only that, but 616 in LA shares the date that 4 p.m. in Calabasas was dropped. And when this was dropped, Drake was living in LA, or Drake was living in Calabasas. Makes me feel as if this was a sign that Kendrick knew what was going on when Drake lived in California. This could have also been a way where Kendrick Lamar could have been hinting.
Yeah, I mean, if you really dissect Drake's lyrics, he's telling you what he does. He's telling you what he does. And he feels like he's untouchable. That's why he says what he says.
At Drake and his escapades over there at Hidden Hills. Just the slight thing that I had noticed when I was going over the lyrics yesterday. But that means that there could be a possible chance that Kendrick was referencing it. For sure, Rick Ross could have been referencing it. And for sure, DJ Vlad had already said what he said about Drake potentially covering things up at Hidden Hills. So you already have two for sure out of the three that have talked about Hidden Hills and have pointed out Hidden Hills. And it looks like there could be possibly, potentially, keep it alleged, something that could have happened at this compound when Drake had stayed there. Now, I'm not sure exactly what it is that DJ Vlad is referring to, but it shares the same similarities to what Rick Ross is talking about when he brings up Hidden Hills as well. What's crazy about all of this is that they bring up Hidden Hills at different times. DJ Vlad just did the interview with Academics a few days ago. This had came out last year in 2024. And I think a lot of people were just at the diss record because of the things that Rick Ross was saying. He was saying stuff about Drake, you know, about the...
I didn't even know about the music video. I heard the song. That is crazy. All this shit is crazy.
Surgery, about things like that. It really was something that the media ate up, but they didn't really understand the Hidden Hills message, because I think that this message was supposed to be something subliminal that only Drake would understand. I think this is why Rick Ross had made this music video this way. And it's interesting to know now that DJ Vlad is not the only person that's hinting towards Hidden Hills. Rick Ross could be hinting towards Hidden Hills as well, and it could possibly be Kendrick Lamar hinting towards it also. There was something definitely going on at this compound, because why all of a sudden all of these other individuals are talking about Hidden Hills as if something went down? And remember, this property was owned by Drake with the alias Richard Fitzenwell, meaning that this property was literally owned. This party compound was owned by a man named Richard Fitzenwell on legal paper, on legal documentation in black and white. A party compound owned by somebody named Richard Fitzenwell is diabolical. Could only imagine the type of parties that Richard Fitzenwell is throwing. We already know that's the alias he likes to go by in the hotel, in the Mark Hotel. And there was a whole other freaky situation going on there. But apparently Drake likes to be called Richard Fitzenwell when he's doing a dirty deed. I guess that's something that he likes to go by. I guess it's another alter.
And if you were to search Richard Fitzenwell, which I think that's what the Ville is doing, you'll find some more shit. Oh man, you found the alias, bro. Oh man.
Ego, Anita
Shout out
Max
to
Win,
the
Richard
Ville.
Fitzenwell, Drake. I guess that's what it is. But I think all of this, Rick Ross, DJ Vlad, Kendrick Lamar, I think all of this were other clues that potentially exposed Drake's escapades at Hidden Hills. I was completely shocked when I saw that Rick Ross had pointed out Hidden Hills a while back. I feel like he was doing all of this on purpose to send Drake a message, subliminally, of course, because only Drake would know what this shirt would mean when it comes out in the music video. As of right now, this Hidden Hills situation, I feel like is getting deeper. I feel like the rabbit hole is getting deeper. I feel like there's a lot of things that need to be uncovered. And right now, these are the things that we found out last night on live. I wanted to make a quick recap video for everybody to watch, in a shorter frame of time, just to see everything that we've found so far. If you want to check out the live, go ahead and do so. What do you think, bro? Do you think that Rick Ross was trying to hint towards the Hidden Hills just like DJ Vlad was? Do you think that 616 in LA was hinting towards 4 p.m. in Calabasas to hint towards the Hidden Hills just like Vlad was as well? Was Kendrick talking about the Hidden Hills through 616 in LA? Allegedly. We'll keep it alleged. But y'all tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Y'all, drop what you guys think in the comment section. Also, subscribe to the Ville. The man, I say it every video, the man cooks. He cooks. I was on his live last night. I was waiting for this video to drop so that way I can react to it. But goddamn, the motherfucker is cooking. You give him one little detail, the man will find a whole bunch of shit. He'll go down that rabbit hole. He doesn't care. Y'all need to follow the Ville for real. Shout out to the Ville, man. Shout out to the Ville. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. You guys know what to do. If you guys want to be a part of the Ya Tu Sabes community, all you got to do is subscribe. That's it. Drop your comment and like the video so that way more people like yourselves can find the page. That way they can see the videos. And then hit that noti bell so that way you guys can see it. Wherever the fuck it is. I don't know where it's at and I'm not going to look for it. This has been your boy J Tom Reactions, man. I am out of here. You guys already know. Check out my interview that I did yesterday with Rome Holman. And also check out that video on your screen. It's been your boy J Tom Reactions. I am out of here. Ya Tu Sabes. You already know. Let's fucking